crushing the abdomen.
Go cry me a river.
Someday I'm gonna kick your ass.
Hey, what the hell? What the hell?
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie here, back with a brand new episode of Hot Takes, where I give you guys my hot takes on things going on in the professional wrestling world. But before we dive into this week's episode, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And I've been pretty absent from doing hot takes for probably about a month now, but we're going to try to get back on track, and what better way to get back on track with this show than talking about what happened backstage at AEW's All In. And first and foremost, I do want to, put a disclaimer out here that I know there's probably millions of other reports coming in as I'm, recording my hot takes on this whole incident. I only want to talk about CM Punk and Jack Perry. And if there's, further news, you can stay tuned and you can listen to the newest episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, which will be coming out this Saturday before WWE's Payback. And I'm sure, myself and, my co-host on the podcast will be covering the entire situation, and hopefully all the reports do come out by then. But for now, I'm only going to be covering CM Punk and Jack Perry, because most of the news that is coming out is confirmed that CM Punk and Jack Perry did get into an incident at All In. And in case you were hiding under a rock, here's what happened. During the 0 hour of All In, Jungle Boy Jack Perry was defending his FTW championship against Hook. And during the match, there was a spot, because of course Jungle Boy Jack Perry, he came out in this, limo, and pretty much they did a spot where Hook suplexed Jack Perry into the car window. And in case you guys don't know, during one of the earlier episodes of AEW Collision, there was, a backstage incident that happened where Jungle Boy wanted to use real glass in, a segment or a match, and Tony Schiavone and, the producers of AEW didn't want Jack to use real glass due to a safety hazard, and they wanted CM Punk to tell Jack Perry that, and that led to, some issues between Perry and Punk. And during this match, at one point in the match, Jack Perry starts to bang on the door of the car, the glass of the car, and pretty much said, "This is real glass." Laughs, "Cry me a river," which led to, after the match when Hook defeated him, we had a backstage incident happen, according to Sean Ross Sapp, a Fightful, and, all these other, wrestling sources out there, that CM Punk confronted Jack Perry due to the comment that was made, and basically what happened was they got into an altercation, started pushing each other, and then that led to CM Punk putting Jack Perry in a chokehold, and that led to, CM Punk and Tony Khan going at it, going back and forth, and then there's, false reports that Miro and CM Punk went at it as well, because Miro wanted to know what happened. CM Punk said, "Oh, if you want to meet me outside, you can." But those reports, they already came out. They are negative. They are not true whatsoever. And apparently, CM Punk was threatening to quit AEW and not going into that opening match with Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe, of course, convinced him to go out there and, wrestle CM Punk. And they went on to have a pretty fun match to start off All In. And during the show, Jack Perry was sent home due to what happened, and CM Punk was at the show. Those are all the reports that were confirmed as of, this recording. So now I want to give you guys my hot takes on everything that transpired during this, backstage segment according to these reports. And of course, I watched All In, and I'm sure, some of you that are tuning in to Hot Takes right now were a part of the watch along with us, and we had a great time with you. And yeah, Jungle Boy pretty much went into business for himself, pretty much called out CM Punk, knowing what he was doing, which led to this fight. And for me, I'm sorry, but I have to side with CM Punk. And if you go back into older episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast, extras, or even hot takes, you know firsthand I blamed CM Punk for the all-out media scrum. I thought that the comments that he made about his old best friend Colt Cabana, Hangman Adam Page, the Elite, and the entire AEW locker room was unnecessary after an incredible pay-per-view that happened last year in Chicago. I thought CM Punk went into business for himself, and I called him out on it because, of course, the EVPs, yes, they didn't have to react the way they did and go to the locker room because CM Punk egged them on during, the press conference. But if CM Punk never called out these guys, during the all-out media scrum, none of that would have happened. But as the EVPs, they should have been professional. They shouldn't have gotten involved. That was my thoughts on the whole all-out media scrum. Recently, a video surfaced, CM Punk making jokes about Hangman Adam Page being a peg warmer, which, in case you don't know what a peg warmer is, that is when a wrestling figure is on a peg for a very long time. And unfortunately, Adam Page's figure at Walmart, his exclusive, has been a peg warmer. So that's where, that joke came in. But I even thought CM Punk was wrong for that because it was an unnecessary comment. And in this situation, Jack Perry, remind you, he's been feuding since the end of June with Hook for this FTW championship. Why the fuck are you going into business for yourself trying to pick a fight that you can't pick? It frustrates me because Jack Perry, there's been reports, within the past few years during his AEW run that he refuses to listen to legends, he refuses to listen to producers, the people who have drove the miles, because he has his own way of doing things. And to me, that is a big problem because as a fan of this sport, as a We Are Wrestling maniac, I think that that's absolutely disrespectful for those who have put in the miles, who have taken the bumps through the years, who have learned respect in this business. And I think that if you are an up-and-coming star, you should be listening to the guys who have been on television, the ones that have wrestled at WrestleMania, who have been on TV, who are legends in this business. You should be sitting there, you should be having a notepad, and you should be having a pencil in case you make a mistake, and you should be taking notes. And Jack Perry is somebody who clearly, has his own way of doing things. He seems very stubborn, and it's unfortunate because I am a fan of Jack Perry. I think that he has a lot of potential to become a top mid-card star in this business. Maybe even a main eventer. I think that the potential is through the roof, and I know there's a lot of people that even thought that Jack Perry had a lot of potential as well, because during the beginning of his run, when there was no drama, surrounding his name, a lot of people were even saying during Jurassic Express that Jungle Boy, this kid, Jack Perry, has a lot of potential, and I see a future main eventer in him. And unfortunately, with the attitude that he has, the piss poor attitude that he has, you are not going to go far in this business. And I think that him going into business for himself, calling out CM Punk, knowing CM Punk, he was poking the bear, he should have been prepared, and I think that that was absolutely uncalled for. Especially on the biggest show of them all In. That was clearly for attention. And I understand he's a heel. There's going to be a lot of CM Punk haters that are going to say that. Oh, Jack Perry is a heel. He's just doing his job. Is he working with CM Punk? He's not working with CM Punk. Last time I checked, Jack Perry has been on AEW Dynamite regularly. CM Punk has been on AEW Collision regularly. These two have not been in a segment together going all the way back to maybe Owen Hart tournament last year or something. There's a video, there's a funny video surfacing saying CM Punk, he was going to kick Jungle Boy's ass someday. Which that was obviously promo. That's when both of the two were good. But now, in CM Punk's defense, he's really not at fault in this situation. And he antagonized the fight with, the EVPs, the Elite. And he did, try to fight Hangman Adam Page. And he's done all of these things. I am not going to blame CM Punk for this here, because this is a whole nother incident that's happening. This isn't what happened at All Out a year prior. This is now. And in this situation, CM Punk, he didn't call out Jack Perry. Jack Perry called CM Punk out. And of course, if you are somebody that is getting called out, what are you going to do? If you're CM Punk, what are you going to do in that situation? Ignore it? Or are you going to confront him and ask him, why did you do this? And in that situation, he confronted him. And I'm sure CM Punk was already pissed off as it was, because going into London, there's reports coming out that AEW did not pick him up at the airport, and CM Punk was struggling to find his hotel, and he had to, listen to strangers, fans on, where to go to get to his hotel, which that is a whole nother situation that actually does kind of piss me off. And I'm sure CM Punk haters right now, they got their popcorn, they got their Slurpee, and they're having a good old time. But I think it's very unprofessional. You shouldn't be, treating talent like that. Especially somebody that is a big draw, somebody that is getting paid a lot of money, and pretty much the face of your new show on TNT on Saturday night's AEW Collision. You should not be treating a top superstar like that. And I don't blame CM Punk for feeling frustrated at the situation prior. And with the Elite, that is, a whole situation that happened. But this situation here in London, you can't blame the guy. Because if you watching this were in the situation that CM Punk was in, you would be pretty frustrated. And jet lag is a real thing for a lot of these, pro wrestlers and a lot of people who travel. And to me, it's just absolutely crazy to see that people are not defending CM Punk in this situation because of what happened a year ago and all the reports that have been coming out recently. And the thing that really pisses me off about society as a whole is that you can't take accountability. And that's one thing that really does piss me off, is that people can't take accountability. And in a situation, you should be able to call out each person on where they're in the wrong. But because you hate CM Punk, you're being biased. And you're being one-sided, which is why a lot of these people are defending Jack Perry, is because of what happened prior with all these reports that have been coming out. Has CM Punk been a cancer in the AEW locker room? I can say, as bad as this sounds, yes, CM Punk has been very negative during this AEW run, and it's unfortunate. And here's my hot take out of all of this, and here's what I think is going to happen. At some point, CM Punk is going to get fed up with all this bullshit. He's going to walk away from AEW just like he did in WWE back in 2014, and I think that CM Punk will return to WWE. And here's why. A lot of people might be thinking, I'm absolutely crazy, I'm dick riding CM Punk. That's not the case. Because about a few months back, earlier this year, when WWE was in Chicago, CM Punk visited. And he squashed his beef with The Miz and even talked to Paul, Triple H, and squashed his beef before, CM Punk. He knew he wasn't welcomed, and pretty much, they told him he had to leave, and CM Punk left. I think that CM Punk at some point is really going to get fed up with all this. This is not the first incident that's happened with him, and I think that's only a matter of time before CM Punk decides, what's the point in dealing with these children? And I think due to Tony Khan not being professional and, laying down the law, because at the end of the day, this is Tony Khan's company. All Elite Wrestling is being run by Tony Khan. And the problem is that Tony Khan is not being a businessman a lot of these times. He's being a fucking mark. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I love some of those mark antics that he goes on, but when you're looking at it from a professional standpoint, there has to be a time where Tony Khan puts his foot down and tells people what to do. And this is why, the Young Bucks and Kenny, they shouldn't be EVPs of AEW. This is why WWE is in the position that they are in. And this is the reason why we don't get these type of reports that we have to cover here, is because WWE is being run by professionals. And it's unfortunate because I love AEW. I prefer watching AEW over WWE. I enjoyed AEW All In more than WrestleMania 39. I have always been a bigger fan of the B show. I was even a fan back in the day of TNA Wrestling over WWE. And that's the thing. I want wrestling to win as a whole. And I want AEW to succeed. And honestly, as a pro wrestling fan, you should be hoping too. Because at the end of the day, AEW and WWE right now, if they're both striving, then, at the end of the day, we have more content to cover. We have more wrestling to watch and enjoy. And the talent, they are going to be getting paid and they're going to be getting television time. They're going to be able to put a roof over their head if, wrestling is succeeding. And right now, we should be enjoying pro wrestling because at the end of the day, it's not WWE versus AEW. It's WWE versus WWE. Triple H and Nick Khan versus Vince McMahon right now. AEW, it's literally Dynamite versus Collision. It's the Elite versus CM Punk. Literally. But nobody wants to talk about that, and this is why I love this series, Hot Takes, and I'm glad to be back doing this. Hopefully we can get new episodes out once a week. But guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this entire CM Punk, Jack Perry situation. Is there something I'm missing here? Because I'm very open-minded. Maybe I'm looking at this from the wrong perspective. Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, this episode of Hot Takes, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. New episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast come out every Saturday on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. Or if you're on the go like myself, you can listen to it now on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anywhere you listen to your podcast. All the links down in the description below. And to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.